I want to show you a handy use of the Saved Views function. You can use this throughout your workflow to just quickly get to particular views you revisit all the time, like having a look at stuff from a house on stage and your booms, etc. You can set yourself a whole range of saved views, but it's also really handy as a tool when you're presenting. So if we have one of our plan meetings and you need to present different aspects of your rigging solutions, your particulars about a particular show, setting up those saved views can be a really powerful presentation tool, because you can just jump to the bit that you want to show instead of having to create, I don't know, images or renders for your PowerPoint. You can do this straight out of VectorWorks. So there are some views already in the as plan when you download it. Some of them are set up to be quite a long way away. What you see here, I've already played with a bit. It might not be the same when you download it. But for example, if we double click the TSM stage plan, if you double click a view in the views palette down here, it basically just jumps you to that view. You can see it's very far away. But you can update and edit these. So if I just zoom in to something a bit more like how I probably would want that view set up, I can then right-click that view that already exists and click on Redefine. I'm going to leave everything ticked because I want to save everything that I'm looking at the way it is, and press OK. That has now saved, updated basically this saved view. So if I go back to my LX layer plan, this is my LX player plan, and then TSM, it goes back to what I have just saved. But let's have a look at actually setting up a new view. So for example, if I wanted to create a view of my stage right booms, I've created one for my stage left booms, like this. So I've left it in wireframe so that I don't always end up having to wait for rendering to happen. If I do want to render it, I can do that afterwards. You could save it rendered into the view as well if you wanted to, but obviously you need to think ahead that you don't end up having to wait for stuff to happen. So this is sort of a view of the boom on stage left. The way I have created this view, I'm just going to go back to my layer plan, is by using the walkthrough tool in the visualization tools. So it's a very handy tool that people don't really use very often, I don't think. But so if I'm just looking at my plan and I go into the walkthrough, I get this little view. I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger, zoom in on it, and you can tell we're sort of hovering. You can see up here the viewer height is 6198, so we're about 6 meters high, and we're looking down onto the setting line here. And you can see there's the sort of goes right now. You can see the cursor has changed into these weird arrows. So if I click on my left click my mouse and move up, I'm going to move this way, and down and move this way. Left and right, I can navigate like this. If I press Shift, I move up and down in height. And if I press Alt, I can actually rotate my view. Now, because I'm looking down onto the stage, I'd much rather actually look straight ahead. So what I'll do is I'm using the rotate view, and I'll move up and I'll rotate it until I have something that looks like I'm looking straight ahead. Maybe around about there. And I'm just going to change my viewer height to, say, about 2 meters. Should be roughly standing in the auditorium head height. And then I can sort of look around. And there's my stage right boom. Gonna move over a little bit. Sorry, stage left boom. Had to do that, didn't I? Here's my stage right view. So if I was to create a view that makes all of my stage right booms nicely visible, I'll probably go there. I'm not gonna render it now because, as I said, I don't want to have to wait for a render to happen every time I snap to this view. So I'm just gonna go View, Save view, call it State Right Booms, and leave everything ticked. Obviously I have choices here what it is I want to actually save into this view, so other things don't get affected, but I'm just going to leave this and save the render mode as well, so it always goes to wireframe. I press OK, and now I have a view here for State Right Booms. So if I go back to my layer plan, I jump back there. If I double click on State Right Booms, I go here. So as I start filling this with booms, I'll be able to have a look at them in this view very quickly and make sure they're in the right place. Obviously, depending on your scenery, you might want to set up different views here.